Just blundering out across the landscape can be a recipe for disaster. If you want to ride safe, you need to ride smart, which means learning to ride strategically. Look well ahead to read the terrain, be alert for hazards, plot a safe course, choose appropriate speeds for the conditions, and ride within your ability. Don't go charging off hoping luck and bravado will get you through.
There's an easy way to remember the essentials of riding strategically, and that's to think S.E.E. Search, evaluate, execute. Search means to stay alert and keep a sharp lookout at all times, constantly reading the terrain ahead as well as your immediate surroundings, and not getting fixated on any one point. Evaluate means continually processing what you're taking on during the search and making smart decisions about riding technique, the safest path of travel, obstacles, and potential risks. Execute simply means putting into action the decisions that have come out of the evaluate process, such as the appropriate technique, speed, and path of travel. Whether you're using your ATV for work or play, the object is to use it responsibly and to arrive back home in one piece. Remember the simple process of S.E.E., and you'll find that riding strategically becomes second nature.
Occasionally you might venture into more unusual riding environments, such as creek crossings, muddy ground, or even deep sand in dry riverbeds. All these situations require special techniques and precautions, so let's take a closer look.
Any water crossing can be tricky, so it's better to use an established crossing point like a ford or causeway. But if there isn't one, you need to do a bit of a recce before ploughing in. Evaluate things like the depth of water and especially how fast it is flowing, because the light weight of an ATV makes it vulnerable to being swept away. Check the conditions of the entry point and exit point to assess how steep they are and if they're likely to be slippery or boggy. In other words, do your homework up front so that you don't find yourself literally up the creek. It's more of that business of riding strategically. You search to find out what's there, you evaluate conditions to plot the best route, then you execute the crossing like this. Shifting your body weight around to maintain balance and maximum traction is a key part of water crossing technique. Don't just gun it and try to push through at high speed. Keep moving at a slow, steady pace and avoid obstacles and slippery rocks. Your exit point may be muddy and steep or both, so keep the ATV moving at a speed which allows the knobby tyres to bite. Once you've cleared, keep in mind that your wet brakes may not work too well, so apply them a few times to dry them out before you need to use them for real.
Riding an ATV in soft sand presents some special challenges. In the country, you may encounter dry, sandy creek beds, and crossing them is relatively straightforward.
The ATV's light weight is an advantage, but momentum is the key to soft sand travel, which means engaging the appropriate gear to let you keep moving through at a steady pace. If you have four-wheel drive, use it. If your ATV is auto, select high range. If your ATV is semi-auto, select the lower gear that will let you pull through the sand without racing or labouring the engine. Riding on dunes themselves is generally forbidden. Damage to vegetation creates instability in the structure and can have far-reaching environmental effects. But if you find yourself crossing dunes in an area where it is allowed, you need to exercise great caution. Dunes are constantly changing shape and size, so what you crossed safely last week or even yesterday can be hazardous today. Some dunes, such as parabolic dunes, feature a wind-shaped gradual slope up one side and a sheer drop over the crest. If you were to ride up the slope and over the crest with any sort of speed, the sudden plunge down the back of the dune could have serious consequences. If you find yourself in a dune crossing situation, exercise great care and follow the S.E.E. process. Reduce speed and ride within the limits of visibility.